guys, hope all is well. With all the parts packed in boxes in the car, today's task is to unpack and organize these items, and finally take a look at the car. Ah yes, a lovely cracked dash that we'll have to deal with later. And we'll get to the motor later as well. So fast forwarding a bit, pulling out all of the boxes, we can really, take a step back, no pun intended of course, to look at what was really inside and try and figure out, what goes where and, what needs to put away in storage and what do we need for our next steps. Because it's body stuff that I'm really focused on, I really want to, keep all the body parts around and the rest of the stuff can go into deep storage. To save some time, I time-lapsed myself unpacking each of these boxes and figuring out what was inside of them. I'm no expert, so I'm only going from what is easily recognizable. And I have absolutely no idea what these are. Fuel tank straps? If you know what they are, just comment down below. It would help me a lot. In this lovely box are some Z findings, floors, and supports, but I'm going to use them a lot later. It's always fun unpacking these things, especially when you find something special such as this. Any idea really what it is? I think it's one of those cheap plastic rings where someone made a hole and glued it to the tail light cover. I honestly have no idea. I ended up rearranging things into these 7 boxes plus all of the big items including the bumpers. Finally, time to inspect the car. As you can tell from the intro, the back is pretty cut up, but the underneath doesn't look that rusted compared to what it seems like. On the rear quarter panel of the driver's side, there seems to be a skim coat of body filler, and as we go up the B pillar you can see that there's just a number of holes where rust has really eaten through. It's quite a few number of holes here, so I'll probably have to weld them and patch them. There's also some dings and bumps on this top of the roof here, so I'm gonna have to get that all fixed. The A pillar doesn't seem too bad, but the bottom is covered in that primer, so can't really tell what's underneath it. The door itself doesn't look too bad, but that primer is also covering everything. There's also this huge dent in the side over here, so really gonna have to pull it or figure out something of how to get it out. I don't want to just bondo over it, I want to fix it up as best as possible. The wheel wells also seem pretty decent shape. I'm gonna go for a smooth shaved look on the back, so these bumper areas I'm not too worried about. Probably just cut them out and patch in some metal. As we get to the front of the car, fenders and the hood all seem in reasonable condition, even better than reasonable condition because there's that giant smiley face staring at us over there. Of course I want to strip it down and see really what's underneath, make sure they were prepped properly. The A pillar of the passenger side, same thing as the driver's side. It looks fine from the outside, but once we remove that paint or primer or whatever, we can really see what's underneath. Overall, the passenger side is in much better condition than the driver's side. There's not that many dings or dents inside of it, and it doesn't have that skim coat of Bondo, so I'm less worried about what's underneath. Of course, the passenger door will also need some work. Taking a quick peek at the inside over here, we can see the wiring that was previously chopped up and repaired. I don't even know how many number of times, but doesn't look too bad. Not too worried about the floors or anything, as we do have those replacement patch panels. Coming around to the rear of the car, we can check to see if there's rust in the usual places, such as the spare wheel area, and it doesn't seem like there is any rust over there. It is covered by this black, I don't know if it's 415 or something else. There are some holes in the rear quarters, but I did get replacements of them with the car, so gonna cut and patch those to fix those up. So crawling inside the car here for the first time, it's a lot different than what I would expect it to be. just because there's no real interior inside of it. Right now I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what needs to get pulled out, what needs to stay, or what can even go back. The wiring does seem really sketchy. The ignition as well has that look of someone attempting to do something but not really completing it. Here's another angle of the cracked dash. It's going to be fun fixing this. So what's next? Well, removing the engine is probably the first step, as I don't think I'll be running the L28. I want something reliable that puts down a lot of power, and I don't really know how to tune carbs, so I don't want to deal with that headache. Then I'll be probably removing the dash, and that probably includes removing the wiring as well. Really don't want to run shady wiring, and if I'm doing an engine swap or motor swap, I won't need that old wiring. With those two things out of the way, plus all the interior strip, there's not really much left of the car per se. So I'm really going to try tackling the biggest part of this, which is body stuff. I've heard also that it's the most fun, so I'm really excited to be working on it. Anyways, that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't to follow the full restoration, and you can also follow on Instagram to keep up with the latest stuff. Stay safe out there. Cheers.